all the programs we've written so far have sent the output directly to the screen. Sometimes, however, you might want to print a program's output. You can print the output by first sending it to a file, then using C to open and print that file. To send a program's output to a file, you must include the fstream.h header file in your program. This header file contains the definition of the OF stream, which stands for output file. You can use the OF stream to create an object that represents an output file. We will modify this program to do so. I will first need to have an additional compiler directive underneath the ones that are already there. This will be include fstream.h. This will now allow us to create and send data to an output file. The statements that will actually create the output file can be placed virtually anywhere in the program as long as it happens before you're trying to send data to that output file. In this case, I will position the statements here, since from this point on is where I'm sending output either to the screen or to the output file. The key word is OF stream, which will give you access to an output file. The next word I'll type is entirely made up by you. I simply use outfile, spelled as you see it, followed by a semicolon. What this is doing is creating a file called outfile, which I will then be able to access through my program. The syntax of the open statement is the name of the file, which is outfile.open, followed by a left parentheses, and then in quotation marks include the name of an output file. Since the name of my demonstration program is Demo11, I will call this Demo11.dat to indicate that this data file goes with this program. Of course, this name is entirely made up by you and simply follows the rules that are established by your operating system. You enclose that in quotation marks and then enclose all of that in a parentheses, followed by a semicolon. This now gives you access to a file called outfile, which will be stored in a physical file called Demo11.dat. Now, if you wish, you can have the output sent directly to the screen, as it is now, or it could be directed to the output file, or it could be both. You can send it to both by leaving the cout statements that we have down here as they are, and send additional statements to the output file, Demo11.dat. At this point, I'm simply going to insert a line below the cout statement. Now I'm simply going to copy this line by using the copy and paste, so I have a duplicate copy of it immediately underneath of itself. And now I'm going to change this from a cout statement to an outfile statement. Remember, outfile with a capital F is what I called my output file in my OF stream declaration statement. So now this outfile statement will send this output to the screen, or excuse me, to the data file. At the same time, this output file gets sent to the screen. I'll do likewise for the other two cout statements. I'll simply copy and then paste, and then change the second version to an out file as opposed to cout. I'll do likewise for the third. Now, I have three statements that are being sent both to the screen with the cout statements, and those same statements will be sent to a data file, which can be retrieved at a later time, and can in fact be printed to a printer if that's what you desire. We'll compile the program and then execute. And the program runs as normal to the screen. I'll enter 7. As you can see, it does give us our output, and remember we've included now the iOS flags and the set precision statements to give us a uniform 2 decimal places. I return to the program, and now what you have not seen is that the output has been sent also to a data file. So I'll click on File and then Open, and I'll notice that in my folder that I have for my files, there is a Demo11, looks like a notepad type of file. In order to see this, you'll need to change this to all files. Otherwise, you're looking at only those CPP files. If I open this file, you'll notice that my output now has been sent to this data file just like it did to my screen. If I wish to at this point, I could then send this to the printer by clicking File and then Print. To close this, you simply File and Close, and you're back to your program. So if you want to create output that is hard copy output, or is something of more permanent nature rather than going to the screen, you can use the fstream header file along with the out file statements to do so. Demo 11 is the sample program on your CD.